Women in my family? Is that such a thing? You know? Like, I'm like dead serious. Because I'm like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I just like be quiet? And I'm like, I think about my mom and how much she struggles with, not being quiet. It's frustrating. Because I'm like, man, why I gotta be like this? In a way. I'm trying to figure it out too. Without compromising who I am, I'm trying to understand. And the more I try to understand, the more people get upset at me. Because as time goes on, I get less and less anxiety over asking questions, and that's getting me in more and more trouble. I really think if I was in like in segregated times, I would get myself in trouble. Like, I'd be one of those people, be like, if I want to just be quiet. But I guess so. And I wouldn't learn either. Would not learn.
What happened to slaves that
They probably got killed. I don't see them having any reason to tolerate it. And is that why, like, black culture is so intolerant? If that was the case, if all, like, other cultures, long-running cultures, they know that mentally ill has, like, a place. Not a place, but an explanation. But in black culture, if they were removed, is that something like why, black culture is not... I don't know. Like, I don't know, man. I've never thought about that. Let's see. Hello. What was that? I was changing my properties. There we go. That is not the right. Properties, configure video. Let's change it to here. Yeah, that's so dark. called? Color. I still can't believe Grandmama went to court because she almost like and they're like friends. Their family is like still cool. Well, Brenda finally died, I think. But yeah, their family was still cool. But like, that's bizarre to me. Oh, Ryan, they didn't get your paperwork. Did you send?
I did see it. It's literally in the email chain.
Resend it.
I'm gonna resend it.
That's what I thought. I know you're not as flaky as me. And what'd you say, baby? Okay. Huh? Okay, bring it here and go poop. Did you resend it? Maybe send it in a new email. Okay. He wants to switch in here. Or maybe could you take his potty in there? I really want. Huh? I'll take it. I'm gonna take your potty in there, baby. That way I don't have to move the switch in your charger, okay? And then when you're done pooping, you do it. So Jackson won't be alone either. Here, I'm gonna bring your potty in there. I need some time to rest. And that way, why? Yeah, I found that happened to me with the children's clinic, I think. Huh? Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. And instead of, I guess, asking him, she first went to us. It hurts. Well, you gotta sit on the toilet, baby. Yeah. Yeah, it was in the bag. I guess all this hurts too. It was like, man, it's like even my own brother, you know, that adds everything onto it. Because I'm trying to be okay with it, but I'm still like, man, really? I just don't know how to not be myself. I just don't know how to not be myself. That's not who I am. This dude I was talking to was 16. I thought he was like 26. He's so mature. He takes care of his siblings, and his mom is neurotypical. And he's just like, he is able to shake off her misunderstanding of him, his autism, so well. You know, and she's not accommodating to a lot. And he's interesting. He's just like, yeah, I just put on my headphones and I just tune my mom out when she's like not understanding him, or and I'm like, how can he do that? It's like, how can she not accommodate him and he not be damaged by it seemingly like so okay? It's like, what does it take to raise a healthy child? Like, we don't even know. So many factors. Need to make a book, The Socially Awkward Social Butterfly. Really? I like, you have big hands, or your hands are different. And it messes me up still. Like, I'm sorry. I feel like, I know it wasn't me, but my stress. It's like when I can't keep my stress down the next day, I'm usually tired. I know it was a combination of things, but you can't help but to see how it's like still affects you. I know you. I do. Yeah, I was like, first I was like, my baby. And then I thought about the hepatitis thing. And yeah. But it doesn't. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't cross it. It takes over a lot of times. Because it's like, how can I know? With me, unsurety, it's like, how can I know? And then it's like, even if I wanted to, and I thought about calling the pediatrician and them brushing me off, being like, why are you calling us in a way? Because that hurts me when I'm like, I'm unsure. Yeah. Yeah. And I look at certain things like, you know, my brain goes to, if we go to sleep and we don't wake up, or if he needs me, and it turns into an emergency. And, you know, it's like, that's more of, I understand that, yes, certain things do, you just gotta wait and see. But it's like the unknown that causes me a lot of anxiety. I guess it's my experience with hospitals too that makes it worse. Because I'm like, if I needed, when I needed help, it wasn't always guaranteed. Yeah. Yeah, because that's my worry. It's like fevers can escalate. I look at my kidney infection. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's like all those safe things cross my mind.
But they don't affect you.
Like last night I was
Tired. Yeah. Or he sounded weird. Well, I think it's because he is very sensitive to sound. And it will wake him up when he hears us get in the bed. Mm. Really? Yeah. I feel so sorry to be so young and your body doing stuff like that, because it's like, why? What is this? I don't feel good. It's so much to process. Yeah. Yeah. He doesn't like it like the others. Yeah, Mm-hmm.
You sick, but you keep the
I think he's very strong in that. Well, see, when I was sick, like in Connecticut, he gets strong. Like, and I think he doesn't want to make us worry almost. So he wants to show that he's okay, because I don't think he wants to make it seem like he's not. Even though he's not even 3. I really think that, because remember I said he was trying to walk when I was feeling bad. And it's like, boy, I've been trying to get you to walk. And I can't believe you're sitting up here. He'd stand up and fall down. Stand up and fall down. And I was like, he knows what makes me happy already. Or the things that would make me happy. Yeah, he's very in tune to emotions and our emotions. Okay. Oh, you don't have to talk. I know you're tired. Hello, Fern. I'm drawing someone in my community wanted me to draw a picture of their husband, or not husband, their father who passed away when they were like 17. So I'm drawing it for him. Thank you. That is, yeah, and a lot of people, they ask me how to, like, I always start with the eye, whichever eye seems dominant to me, and I build inward and go out. A lot of people, like, they ask me how in the world I do it, and to me, I'm like, how in the world do you draw the outline first? You know, I'm like, to me, I always tell people that's like telling people to draw a circle and put a dot in the exact center in a way. Like, it's nothing to build off of. But to me, you start with that dot in the circle and you build out and then encase the outline around the details. So, like, I don't know. It's just how my brain works. Sometimes I draw upside down. I'll turn the picture upside down, and it helps me draw what is in front of me versus an idealized version of what I see. Because right now it's like, I'll show you the picture. There are differences in the picture. I tend to exaggerate the face or the eyes. Like, it's just kind of a capture of what image I'm drawing, but still the person. But when I draw upside down, it tends to be closer to the image. So, like, it forces your brain to not see a person, but to see shapes that make a person. So, like, yeah, it depends. Sometimes, depending on, I don't know what it depends on actually, but sometimes it'll just be like, I'll have trouble drawing something and I'll turn it upside down. And then I'm like, oh, what do you like to draw? I know you say, I hate when people are like, I like to draw, but I'm not good, or I like to draw, but I'm not like you because to me, everybody, is different. So like, what do you like to do? I mean, everybody starts somewhere. I started when I was very, very early or very, very young, like in preschool. I taught myself to draw myself because I liked art. And what I did, I realized, hey, if I pause my Disney VHS tapes, like Lion King, Little Mermaid, and draw what I see, I really enjoy drawing the characters. Because with me, I have a very vivid imagination. And when I draw, oftentimes it's like, in a way, I dissociate, but not in a negative way. It's like I just get really sucked into what I'm drawing. And when I was a kid, I'd just like get sucked into the characters, feeling like yeah. So that taught me how to draw fast because Disney or VHS tapes, I don't know how old you are, but like, okay. Okay. See, it's I cannot tell anybody's age because I'm 35 and I feel like I'm in my 20s still. So like to me, everybody's in their 20s, unless they sound really young or, you know. Well, there you go. You're in your 20s. But, like, but the VHS tapes, you pause them and they wouldn't stay paused forever. So that taught me to draw fast. So, and Disney is kind of like a special interest of mine. I didn't learn I was autistic until 2020. So, like, just recently. But it explains so much of my experience and then why, like, I have these obsessions or so what people see them at. But I love to draw and I love Disney, and that combined let me become a like artist like I am now because I built off of my special interest. And so yeah, and yeah, I know you say stick figures, but to me I'm like, cool, what kind of stick figures, to me I'm like, that's awesome. Like, how do you draw your stick figure? I don't discredit anyone's art because to me I love seeing what people can create. So like, yeah. And I started out not able to draw faces. And look at me now, like, so yeah, I think it's cool. Everybody starts somewhere. I remember I scared my mom so bad when I was a kid, like in elementary school, when I started drawing people. I'd draw everything but the eyes, nose, and mouth. And I don't remember, I feel like it was because I wasn't comfortable enough. I didn't think I was good enough to draw it, but I enjoyed drawing the person, still. And she was like, "What is going on with my daughter?" She said it was creepy because I'd be like, "Look, Mama, look what I drew," and she was like, "Oh God," which is so funny. Yeah, yeah. It's like, "Are you okay?" It's like, "Yeah." Yeah, I love art. I'm also making, let me show you this thing. Hold on, let me get to it. This is what I'm making. It's oven baked clay. Let me see. It's like a little dinosaur thing. I don't know what it is. It's Oh no, I don't even know what it is myself. It's okay. I just Yeah, well, I have a 2-year-old and he was like, "Triceratops?" Like, He's so cute. Like I have three boys, and they're all seemingly autistic like me and my husband, but we're getting them evaluated just not because we need to get validated, because we feel like they are, because it's something that once you understand it, it's like with me, I didn't even suspect I was on the spectrum, and then once I started researching it, I'm like, this explains so much. So like, yes, yeah. When like, were you diagnosed when you were younger, or did you have to go? Well, here's the better question. When did you suspect you were autistic? When did you come to the realization that you were on the spectrum? Because self-diagnosis is just as valid. Yeah. Yeah. I was so happy to like, to me, at first it was a shock because I was like, whoa, what does this mean? You know, like, I never thought about my existence as is really substantially different from people, even though like I'd never fit in. Like, I didn't think, wow, it's a neurological thing. What does that mean? And but then I was happy, and I went to my Facebook to tell people that had known me since I was a kid from my mom, and that I thought they'd be like, oh, that makes so much sense, and they were more like, okay, she's crazy. What does she mean she's autistic? Like, and it was very shocking to get it received in such a way that it was, because I was all happy and people were like, oh no, sweetie, it's okay, you're still the same. I'm like, I mean, yeah, I'm still me, but what do you mean by that statement? It's not a bad thing, you know. Yeah, so it's still a learning process. Like, I learn more and more about myself as time goes on, as I learn more about, I talk to more people, and I learn that how much of my experience really is shared by neurodivergent people, and it's so nice. So congratulations on your newfound like discovery. I know it's like it's super cool. I know with me is it your special interest like now, the whole neurodivergency thing? I know it's become of special interest. Uh-huh. Yeah. The ASD quotient. Yeah. Oh God, yes. Yes. Oh, that's so awesome. I love looking at data too. And I'm I'm not necessarily a math oriented person, but I'm a visual person. And graphs show things to me, and like, or like any type of visual representation of stuff is always like, yeah, let's look at it and compare. I feel like, and other people are like, what are you doing? What are you making? Or but I'm also ADHD, so I'm disorganized so badly. So like, it's funny. Let me show you my stream titles, because I stream, and I like to just kind of like keep track of my titles and everything else. And I use OneNote on my computer to do it. But let me show you how disorganized it is. Let me do this here. Oh, here, let me expand it. I can do that. So this is my OneNote. Yeah, I'm on Twitch, but don't worry, I have it so like the audio isn't coming through and all that. But yeah, I'm on Twitch, I'm on Facebook and other places. Let's see. So this is my OneNote thing, and I try to like keep categories. Like I start out being like each day will be a different day, and I'll put different titles, and then it starts out like that, but then I just start copying and pasting stuff, and it turns into this disorganized, organized mess. And that's like the story of my life, like organized, disorganized. So like it's hard, but I get you. I'm excited to know that you are graphing out this stuff and like, comparing it. Oh, they don't like that. And I get why they have a dislike for it. When certain, like, if somebody's coming to you saying, I think I have melanoma because the spot looks like the spot I looked at on Google, I can understand that. But with autism and neurodivergent stuff, scientists who are not neurodivergent aren't leading all this research. So it's like based off of things they can observe only. And what they observe is, but go ahead. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes. And it's like, what does that mean? Yeah. Oh no. It took me twice, okay, to get a diagnosis. And the first doctor I saw, I did so much research ahead of time, and I learned about how getting a diagnosis as a female or non-binary, or someone who is not traditional, especially if you're not a male, you know, is hard. So it's misunderstood. So I knew that. And when I came, like, I did a telemedicine call, and the doctor, he was leaned back in his chair, and he was this older dude, and he was like, so tell me, why do you think you're autistic? And to me, I was like, he doesn't believe me. But I did not have the confidence to call it off. At that time, I still had a lot of anxiety. So I struggled for 45 minutes trying to nervously like think of the reasons, and I was all scattered, and I struggled. And he's like, you're telling me, it's like, you went to college, you're a mother, I don't think you're autistic. And I'm like, what? Yes. I'm like, how do you think I should be? Even though, yes, I have made it this far without a diagnosis. You do not how much hell my life has been, and how much of a struggle just because to be this successful. Quote, I went on disability when I was 24, so 11 years ago almost. I had to stop working because at the time I was misdiagnosed with bipolar 2. And after my autism diagnosis, I was reading about hormonal conditions in like neurodivergent people, and I came across premenstrual dysphoric disorder, and I was like, oh my God, is this what I have? Because bipolar never fit the narrative. I never had a manic, I only had like one quote manic episode, and that was triggered after I was taking Paxil, and I had a lot of suicidal ideation too, and that was like not related to any triggers. And it was so hard to pinpoint. Medicines didn't work. They put me on all sorts of antipsychotics, and that was like 10 years of that. So then the autism diagnosis, I come across premenstrual dysphoric disorder. I start tracking my cycles, and I got it to where like during a certain period of time out of the month, I would know if I was going to struggle, because it was like clockwork. And all this time I had never tracked it with my cycle because doctors said I was bipolar, and lots of women have cycles, and they don't struggle like me. So I never thought, and plus premenstrual dysphoric disorder didn't become an official diagnosis until like 2016. So I was diagnosed with autism in 2020. And after a decade of taking antipsychotics, inpatient hospital stays, I was finally correctly diagnosed with premenstrual dysphoric disorder. I had my hysterectomy and my remaining ovary taken out in January. And guess what? All of that stuff I struggled with is gone for 10 years. 10 years. I was told I was bipolar, which to me, it was like, well, medicine isn't helping me. And what am I supposed to do with my life? I've had to stop working, and it made me want to give up even more, because I'm like, what is there for me? But luckily, like my husband I met in ninth grade, he is self-diagnosed autistic. It is funny, like he used to look at me in my 20s. He realized that I was probably on the spectrum too. And he would look at me and be like, you're autistic too. And I laughed, thinking he was joking. And he told me over and over that I was on the spectrum. And it wasn't until I looked at my family and my kids, and I was like, wait, am I? And he was like, I've been trying to tell you that. I was like, I thought you were joking. He's like, that's because you're autistic. And you theory your mind, or, because I'd learned about all this stuff. And, and I was like, but you should have told me. He's like, I looked at you and I told you. It's so funny. Yeah. Yeah, I just laughed because I was like, I just thought you were joking. So, I don't know. It's like, well, for me, at first, it was not accepted like I accept it now, because I was a mother of 3 kids, the youngest, the 3 stair-step kids, stuff that parents don't even do, even if they're neurotypical. Like, it's known that, like, it's hard being a mother of small kids, let alone like back to back to back. And, but I had been able to get my mental health under control. I started streaming, and that helped offset a lot. It gave me a purpose. Like, I'll stream to like 1 viewer, and that viewer can be a bot, and I'll still stream because it helps me feel not as isolated. And I've been doing that for like 7 years, but that helped pull me out of my hole enough to like get myself to where I could be a mom. And I was like, but I ran into some infertility issues, and even with like medication, I couldn't get pregnant. So when I finally got pregnant, part of me was like, my body is good right now. So it led me to like, okay, it was not hard being a mom. I felt it was like I was a natural mom, even but part of it was because PMDD, when I was pregnant, it goes away, because PMDD is a sensitivity to the change in your hormones. And when you're pregnant, they're all the same. So I felt so good during my pregnancy. And that led us to like me and my husband, we got lax, we got pregnant again, and then a third time we're like, okay, we're done. Because I was like, all right, my body is fixed. So if I want kids later on, I could have, but then I got diagnosed with autism, and that sent me on a loop because I was like, I'm a mother of 3 young kids. My husband's autistic. I'm autistic. What happens to autistic individuals when they get older? Is there a cognitive decline? Can I be a good mother? And all of a sudden, all this doubt flooded me. And it was a period of time where I was like, what have I set myself up for? I got to take care of my kids. And, it was a period of time where autism was a bad thing, but it was very short lived because I also have CPTSD. And that was like my trauma, my fear reaction, and which I didn't know that. And I've overcame a lot of my trauma after getting my autism diagnosis because this understanding myself or misunderstanding who I was led to me getting traumatized so easily, and like my mom had her own trauma and, that she had to deal with, and it was a lot. So I am very, like, when you say that, going back to your own experience, because I'm a rambler. So, like, I will talk a lot. So, like, going back to you and your experience of getting recently diagnosed, I'm very happy for you because I know what it's like to finally have the understanding of you're not like defective. Because with me, I was like struggling, doing my best, not knowing why I couldn't keep up with my peers, why I couldn't adult like other adults, And so, like, yeah, I'm 35 and have 3 kids, and you know, I still struggle with adulting.